finally making another video. I know it's been a long time, and I've been telling friends and family that I'm gonna be making videos and sharing my life with you, but here I am finally, because frankly, I've been very busy since March. Yeah, since March. Because when I first moved to Seoul, where I live now, from my last city, I wanted to find a free language class like I was doing in my old city. It was actually really hard to find classes, period, that weren't like at a university Monday to Friday, like in the morning when I work, like most people. So I was trying to find like anything I could do, and I had heard about this program that was free and had all these benefits, and like, I don't know. I knew about it for a long time. I don't know why. I never tried. So I finally signed up, maybe in October. You have to take a pre-test, okay? And when I signed up for the pre-test, like, I don't know the timing, but I had to wait like from October to January to take the pre-test. So I just kind of studied here and there until I took the pre-test. And then once I took the pre-test and I got into this program, things were just bam, 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 the whole way. So the name of the program that I signed up for is called the KIIP program, KIIP. It's a special program offered by the, not the Office of Immigration, yeah. I can't speak English anymore. Boo-boo. Boo-boo. Like, I don't know, it's offered by the government. And the benefit about this program is, one, it's free, and two, if you're looking to try to make your time in Korea more permanent, this program can help you get a residence visa of some kind. Actually, I was interested in that visa, so I signed up for this program. So the pre-test is kind of like gauging how much you know, and based on how many points you get in the pre-test, they choose what level you start in. Yeah, so I took the pre-test back in January, and out of the 5 levels they have, I tested into level 4. I mean, I've been studying Korean pretty strictly, I would say, for 2 years. Like, I used to study every day, and on the weekends, give or take whatever was going on in my life. But I worked really, really, really hard to get to the level I was at, and I took the test. I got level 4 out of the 5 levels that you need. Level 4 is a 100-hour class, and I took that class over 2 months, only on Saturday and Sunday. So for 2 months straight, I couldn't sleep in, ever, and that was awful. If you sign up for this program, if you're in levels like 1, 2, 3, 4, you're learning Korean language and Korean culture. So I have, where is it? I have my book. I think like, yeah, this is my level 4 book. And there's lots of topics in here, like about Korean weddings, because they're really like different, like traditions. They talk about Korean like workplace culture, the birth rates in Korea, politics. It's really useful. I feel like this has helped me like pay attention more to like TV programs. Yeah, so it teaches you like a bit of grammar, but I feel like I got way more vocabulary in like kind of important kind of topics I learned about in this book. So it's 100 hours, and if you go to the class, they're very strict about attendance. So if the class is 100 hours, you can only miss 20 hours total. If you miss 20 hours and 1 minute, you fail. So it's really important that you go. My class was like 5-6 hours in a day. So like just not going for one day, you're already out 5-6 hours. So you can't really afford to miss more than like 2-3 days safely. And it's really difficult because I couldn't sleep in any day of the week. So like, I think the last couple weeks, like I just came really late a couple times because I was so tired and I just wanted it to be over. Yeah. After level 4, I took my final test, or they call it the midterm test, but it's essentially the level 4 final. I took that, oh gosh, what was that? I think I took that in May maybe? May 5th. Yeah, I think I took it May 5th. And it's actually really nice because in the program, the pre-test, the midterm, and the final test all have a very similar format. And all the tests are cumulative, which I didn't know because I started the program at level 4. So that means I have to take a test that includes material from levels 3 to 1. And the reasoning is like, even if you test into level 4, you should kind of already know these basic things below level 4. Like even if you just tested into it, it's kind of assumed that you would have that knowledge already. But I didn't know that when I took my level 4 final, and so I left the final feeling like, I failed this test. I had to sit down for a speaking part and talk about festivals. I had pictures of 4 festivals and I had no freaking clue what any of them were. And I couldn't say anything about them. And then they asked me like if I had been to any festivals, and like I don't really go to traditional festivals. I go to like museums or concerts like of Korean bands and stuff, but I just blanked like, I don't know, man. Oh, I was not expecting this because I studied so hard my level 4 textbook. Like this was not a topic in there. But luckily I passed that test. Like having lived here for a few years, some of the questions I didn't learn in my class, but from life experiences I knew the answers to. So essentially the test format, like the first few questions will be like culture. No, sorry, that's the end. The first few questions will be like, I think they give you a random word in a sentence and they underline it, and then they give 4 words and you choose a synonym. And they have a few questions of that. So essentially they're testing these random vocabulary words, like if you know them, which that's where I lost most of my points, honestly. Because how are you supposed to prepare for like all the words in this language? How are you supposed to know which ones to know? And then after that, there's a few like grammar ones, and those ones are pretty easy. I mean, anything I didn't learn in my class, I was learning Korean for 2 years, so I knew most of the things that came out in that section. And then after that, there's culture questions, and you learn a lot about the culture in the book. So most of those questions, if you came to class, you paid attention, you studied a bit, you'll know. So after I passed level 4, I went into level 5. In level 5, they stopped teaching you Korean. So I have this book. It's my level 5 book, and it's just like pages, and I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's just words. It's like a very simple textbook. Like there's nothing in here teaching me Korean grammar, Korean words. It's just assumed that I can understand what I'm reading. I started level 5, I think, sometime in May. Like, I kid you not, when I got the results from the level 4 test, that same day you could you could sign up for level 5 classes online. And I did this on, I think, a Friday. And the class I signed up for started on Sunday. Okay, goodbye weekend plans, because now I have to wake up early on Sunday. So it is a benefit how quickly you can get into the next class and keep going. Because for me, I've been on a time crunch, which maybe I'll explain later. Yeah, or you can take your time. You don't have to sign up for the class right away. You have all the time in the world. You could wait a month or 2 and sign up later after taking a break. But this class was 50 hours. So level 5 is 50 hours because they're not teaching you about the Korean language anymore. So like when I was in this class, the level 5 class, the class is only 50 hours, so I took it for like 5 weeks. And it goes so fast because the level 4 book is like, learn some words, here's a couple grammar points and some reading, and you do that in like 1 day. And level 5 book is like a textbook, and you read 5 chapters. No, we read like 6 chapters in a day. And so if you're going there Saturday and Sunday, that's 12 chapters every weekend, and it's really content dense. So like I spent all week before class reading the chapters. There were so many words I didn't really understand, and I had to spend a lot of time just looking up the words I didn't understand. The whole time I came to class, like I barely understood what's going on because I really wanted to like prepare, come to class, review after the class, but there's no time. There's no time to review. And the teacher gave us quizzes in class, like there's no grade in the class, so they're just for you to practice. And I always felt that they were like really hard and I didn't know what's going on, so I would just like write the answers on a separate piece of paper so that like when I went to study later, I could go back and use it as a study tool. But there was 2 weeks between the level 5 test 2 weeks between when the class ended and the final test. So I spent those 2 weeks just studying every day. I reread the book. As soon as we finished in class, I started rereading it. By the end of the class, like a lot of the words I didn't know began to really stick in my mind. So when I reread the book, I understood it so much better, and I made lots of notes, and just for 2 weeks studied and studied and studied and studied, and finally took my final exam and passed. And that wasn't until the test was on June 23rd. And the reason I did this program is because you can, like I said, get a residence visa. And I actually really wanted to get this visa before my current job contract ended. Because if my job contract ended, I don't want to stay at the job that I'm at now, and I want to apply to another job. But there's some kind of long gap in between, like a few months where the contracts just don't line up. And I thought, if I get this residence visa, I can just do some freelance work until the next contract starts. And if I can't, then I kind of have to leave the country. So that's why I was really rushing through this program, because with this program, I have enough points to apply for that resident visa. So if you're interested in the resident visa, it's called the F2-7. A lot of people call this the points visa. And I've got papers for you. Hold on. This is like what's left over from when I went to immigration, because I actually applied for this visa. Looking at the calendar, I don't know, last week? Yeah, last Tuesday. I applied for this last Tuesday, and like literally 2 days later they texted me and said that I got the visa, and I have to wait a couple weeks to go pick it up. So I don't actually have it in my hand, but I know that I got approved. So this F2-7 visa is called the residence visa. If you've been living here as like in Korea as like a teacher on an E2 visa, or there are a lot of people in my class who are on the E7 visa. I think it's E7. I'm not sure. Some kind of like workers visa, because they're just international people working here, just in other fields outside of teaching. And essentially I printed out the English and the Korean version of the points system, but I felt there are so many like copies of it all over the internet in English, and so many of them are wrong. Like, they changed this point system maybe, I don't know how many years, a few years ago, like somewhere after 2012, I think, I don't know. They changed the point system. This visa hasn't been around a long time. Like some years ago, they created it. And then some years after, they kind of realized it was a little bit difficult for people to get. So they changed it a little. And I've seen so many mixed up versions of the required point system online. So I just decided I'm gonna go to the Korean immigration website and find the original documents, which I did. And I made a video about how to do that in Korean and in English. If you want to do that, I'll put a link down below. So I have the Korean one with me. I felt the Korean one is better because it lists on the papers the kind of documents you need to bring. And since most of the documents you need to bring are going to be Korean documents in Korean and you have to like ask for them in Korean, I felt the Korean one is better because there's the name of the document that I need. And I otherwise wouldn't know what the hell this was. So I got that. So essentially you're gonna get points for age. They just check your passport. Bring your foreign ID and your passport. So they check your age. You get points depending on your age. I think the best age is like, I can't find the paper. It's a mess. Okay, so yeah. You get the most points if you're in your early 30s. And then the farther away you get from that, the less points you get. You get points for education. The more education, the more points you get. Also, if you have 2 bachelor's degrees, they give you more points for that, just saying, because it's what I did. And the Korean language, you can do the topic test, or you can do the KIIP program. But if you get a topic level 5, you get 18 points. But if you do the KIIP program and you do through level 5, you get those 18 points. But then they have like these extra points for doing the KIIP program. So really, if you do the KIIP program through level 5, you actually get 28 points, which is what I did, and it's why so many people choose to do this program, because how many points you can get for this visa. Then you get points for your income. Like the more money you make, the more points you get. There's points if you studied in Korea, like at a university, not just like, because I studied in like a few places, but they're not like universities or official places to get any points from. If you studied in a university, you did, I think if you did like semester or year abroad here, if you got a degree here, like the more education you received in a Korean university, the more points you get. And also, if you volunteered and you can verify that you volunteered for a certain amount of time, then you can get some points there. And then you get points if you paid a shit ton of taxes, which if you're here as an English teacher, like you definitely have not probably paid as much taxes. I'm not sure. It's way, 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 way over my income level. Like nearly 10 times my income level. So yeah. I don't know, I think it's for business owners, to be honest. So you're going to need your copy of your contract, your job contract, copy of your housing lease, if it's in your name. If it's not in your name, there's another form you need to get off the immigration website. Because especially if you're a teacher here and your school provides your housing, the same form that they would use to apply for your E2 visa or to transfer your E2 visa, they need to give that to you again, a copy of your apartment lease and that one paper that says, this is my lease contract and I'm letting so-and-so live there. Okay, so those 2 things, proof of home, proof of job. And then there's gonna be a document that you need to ask your work for, the last tax year. So now it's 2018, so I had to get a document for the 2017 tax year. Actually, I had 2 jobs, so I had to ask both jobs for this document. It's to verify your income and that you pay taxes, and that's how you get the points for your income. If you have degrees, you need to follow your country-specific standards for giving proof of education here. As an American, I had to do an apostilled diploma. I'm not sure about other people because I'm not from another country. I don't have any other citizenship. So for me, I had to get copies of my diploma and have them apostilled, and I had to give that to them. And like, there's 2 documents you have to get for doing the KIIP program. You can just print those offline from the KIIP website and you give that to them. And that was pretty much it, and that and the application. So that's essentially what I've been doing these last few months, essentially all of 2018. I was preparing for this visa, doing the KIIP program, and it's finally over. I am set to stay here in this country. So yeah, it was a grueling process, but it was so worth it. But I'm happy that it is done.